hard not to imagine where this terrorism is going. You know, and I listen to our president, who has a hard time saying the word terrorist. Well, let me explain it to you, Mr. President. These are Islamic terrorists who are now poised to murder more. They murdered a dozen on Wednesday, and they're poised to murder more at a kosher grocery store, so read Jewish grocery store in Paris again today. And this is two hostage situations going on there. Paris has been on its heels for France really for 3 days now. Here to join us, we're going to talk about some other things, but I've got Congressman Fred Upton on the line this morning, and with these things happening, what a perfect person to have a conversation with. Congressman, good morning.
Good morning. It's still Fred.
Well, I appreciate that. I know it is, but you know what? I have to say it, and be formal and be polite.
I know, but then
my mother
really
taught me
me,
that.
Right? It's not an imposter.
Well, that I do. I do know it's really you.
Yeah.
That's true. So you like so many others, have been probably watching the events unfold in Paris and what's going on there. What do you make of it?
Well, obviously, it's pretty scary, and it's we have an open society here. We have certainly a lot of constitutional freedoms that we all enjoy. And and it's impossible. It really is to defend so many different soft targets. And frankly, a newspaper office, a radio station, a grocery store, you name it, a library. I mean, they're all they don't have a lot of security. And even if they did, it'd be pretty easy to overrun it. Let's put that down. And it's the society that we choose to live in, and that's why. This is so disturbing, because we know that it can happen here too. It's not far-fetched at all.
Why do you think that our president is so reluctant to use the word terrorist or terrorism? I mean, he shies away from these words, as does the entire administration, as do many of the people on the other side of the aisle from where you sit, seem to shy away from those terms that are descriptive and accurate and, I believe, honest.
Yeah, I don't know the answer to that. It is clearly a terrorist attack. It was clearly planned. It seems as though, at least the news reports, and there'll be a lot more information coming in the upcoming weeks, but it seems pretty certain that Al-Qaeda actually trained these guys. We know that there's a lot more because of what's been happening in Syria. These folks have folded back. They were already on the no-fly list here, but it's pretty easy to go from one country to the other in Europe and melt into the landscape and get your train and come back who knows how much longer and be able to do something like this if you've got a bent to do it. And that's exactly what happened. And it's the reports.
Yeah, I suppose if that's your goal, that's the direction you're going to go, I guess. I appreciate where you're coming from. I want to shift gears because I want to cover. I'll keep one eye on the breaking news here on the monitor here, but I want to talk about a couple of other things. Number one, did you vote in support of John Boehner? And it's important for the listeners to know because I have some questions about him and his leadership going forward. Where do we stand there?
Yeah, I did. John Boehner was supported by 216 of his Republicans. He was unchallenged. We have leadership elections that came after the November election. He was not challenged. He won on a voice vote. Yes, there were a few scattered no's, but no one challenged him. His closest guy, I think, got 12 votes. Louis Gohmert got 3. One of them was his. But it was overwhelming. This is the moment that we've been looking for as a Republican Party. That we were so frustrated the last 2 years by passing a lot of bills here in the House, 380 in fact, that were never taken up in the Senate. And this is now our opportunity to govern.
Well, this is a critical time, and that's why I ask if it's a difficult time. That's why I ask: Is this the time for John Boehner? Is he going to shine? I mean, there are some questions about his willingness to stand up to this president, this administration. A lot of us watch the $1.1 trillion spending bill that goes through that funds Obamacare in large part, and it funds the president's executive orders on amnesty and so forth. And so people have questions, and I'm one of those people that does have questions about his ability to take what happened in November, this watershed moment in American history. Can he lead us back to more conservative principles and guard the checkbook, look out for national defense, and protect America against terrorism and other issues?
Well, absolutely can. I mean, we've We've actually seen a reduction in federal spending, where we actually the omnibus appropriation bill that passed in December. Remember, that's the old Congress, so the Democrats still had a 55-45 edge in the Senate. It's the same faces that were there when we had the shutdown 2 years ago. The new members weren't sworn in until this week. But that omnibus spending bill was actually less money, less spending than what the Ryan budget, Paul Ryan's budget called for that we passed a year before. We still have a strong defense.
I guess the concerns, though.
We have a divided government. Okay?
The concerns are there. And
we lost the battle on the shutdown a year ago, right? Who was castigated as the losers? True. It was the Republicans.
Well, and the Republicans always
go through that drill
you're right about
knowing
that. No question,
in fact, spending on executive orders and other things, we can't. It's mandatory spending. You can't actually stop it. So we lose. I mean, can you imagine shutting the government down at Christmas time?
The Republicans always lose on the standoff in the mainstream media. You're right. They get the bad rap on that. And Fred, we need more time with you. We just get started in the conversation, get warmed up, get all friendly, and then it's time to go. We need to have you back sometime soon.
I'll be glad to do it.